Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 30th Annual Northeast Environmental Partnership Awards. My name is Mike Bedrin, and I'm the Director of DEP's Northeast Regional Office. The members of the Northeast Environmental Partnership are delighted that you are taking the time to share in our annual celebration. If we were back at the Woodlands, I would be calling you away from the bar about now. Under today's circumstances, I might still suggest that you go get that glass of wine or your favorite cocktail to sit back and enjoy this year's virtual presentation. During the pandemic, Pennsylvanians in record numbers are seeking solace, fresh air, and exercise in the outdoors. And we're seeing unprecedented use of state and local parks, forests, trails, lakes, and sanctuaries. These are places that have helped people deal with the uncharted waters of the pandemic. In case you're wondering, I'm talking to you from one of those special places near me, the Black Diamond Trail on the DNL system in Mountaintop. That's right, I got my tail on the trail. I suspect that all of you watching have known the benefits and beauty of these places for a long time. I bet most of you have helped to create and preserve many of those places. The groups and individuals we honor this year used partnerships, passion, creativity, and commitment to leverage resources and develop projects that improve and protect our water resources, habitat, and species. They provide unique and meaningful outdoor and educational experiences, and they improve our quality of life by connecting us to our environment. Nancy Ross, this year's Tom Shelburne Award winner, is an extraordinary example in leadership, dedication, persistence, kindness, an unparalleled spirit of volunteerism and commitment to the environment and community. So as we congratulate everyone honored this year, keep in mind that the strength of the Pennsylvania Environmental Council and the Northeast Environmental Partnership is in bringing together a diversity of knowledge and viewpoints and building strong coalitions and partnerships that benefit our communities. Congratulations to PEC on its remarkable 50th anniversary. I hope you all continue to be safe and healthy and that we can get together again soon. Thank you so much for your continued support and enjoy this year's program.
Thank you, Mike, for that lovely welcome. He always does such an amazing job setting the stage for our awards event. Good evening, everyone. My name is Janet Sweeney, and I serve as a Vice President of the Pennsylvania Environmental Council. I too want to welcome everyone to our 30th Annual Environmental Partnership Awards and our first ever virtual awards event. I hope everyone is well and healthy during these unprecedented times, which is why you all know this is why we're celebrating virtually this year. So thank you for joining us in this new format. Since we can't be together in person, our next best way to engage with each other is to use the comment feature available on whatever platform you are using to view tonight's event. We want to hear from you, so please use the comment feature throughout the evening. Let us know that you're here. Tell us what organization you are representing. And since you don't have to eat chicken at the Woodlands, what are you having for dinner? What are you going to do with the extra 3 hours now that we're virtual? Or you could just say hi or send well wishes to our awardees. Again, I appreciate you all joining us tonight in this virtual format to honor these individuals, organizations, and businesses who all work in partnership to enhance our environment. As Mike mentioned, this year also marks PEC's 50th anniversary. So now we're delighted to share a few pre-recorded remarks from some very special guests, including the governor, as well as the secretaries of the Department of Environmental Protection and the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, as well as our very own PEC's president, David Woodwell.
Hi, I'm Governor Tom Wolf. It's my privilege to join the Pennsylvania Environmental Council to celebrate 50 years of service and advocacy. I offer my congratulations and my thanks to all of this year's award winners. In addition, it's a pleasure to join PEC in celebrating this important milestone in the organization's history. Since its founding in 1970, PEC has been a partner for a long time with the Commonwealth in protecting our environment and our natural resources. The environmental challenges before us have evolved over the last 50 years. In particular, we've come to better understand the dangers of climate change, and we've seen firsthand the consequences for lives and livelihoods in Pennsylvania if we don't work to mitigate those dangers. In order to protect Pennsylvanians, we need partners like PEC that are dedicated to innovation, collaboration, education, and advocacy. PEC's ability to create meaningful dialogue among diverse stakeholders and generate bipartisan support for shared goals has led to success in the past, and I'm certain that it will continue to inspire change for years to come. So thank you to PEC, and again, congratulations, and thank you to all of this year's winners.
Hi, I'm Patrick McDonald. I'm the Secretary of the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, and it is a pleasure to be here with you all virtually to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Pennsylvania Environmental Council. When I think about PEC, I think about all of the accomplishments that they have had over the last 5 decades, all of the things that support an organization like the department, from the Environmental Rights Amendment to the Pennsylvania Constitution, to Growing Greener, to illegal dump cleanups across the state. PEC has been at the forefront of environmental policy for many decades now. But they're about more than just the past. They're also about the future. Right now, the biggest threat we face is climate change. And again, that's a place where the Pennsylvania Environmental Council has led. They developed the first Pennsylvania Action Plan for Climate. They supported the 2008 Pennsylvania Climate Change Act. And most recently, they've been supportive of market-based solutions to carbon emissions, much like the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative that Pennsylvania is currently in the process of joining. So when you think about PEC, you think about innovation, which is also something you think about with the award winners we celebrate. For example, Grand Central Landfill, they are capturing their methane and supplying it to Green Knight Energy Center. In addition to that, they've developed a 200-acre wildlife area. So right there, we have a project that is capturing methane, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. But again, PEC is about more than programs and policies. It's also about people, which is why some of the award winners that they recognize include the North Branch Trout Derby, the lands at Hillside Farm, and Sharon Yannick Craig at the Lackawanna College Environmental Center. These are places and people that are developing our youth to be forward thinking about environmental policy going forward. Milestone anniversaries like this are always a chance to look back. But with PEC, you're never just looking back, you're always looking forward. Again, I'm pleased to be here to celebrate again virtually with PEC and look forward to what they have coming next.
I'm excited to be part of the Pennsylvania Environmental Council's recognition events on their 50th anniversary. These events, held every year around the Commonwealth, are a hallmark of PEC's work over the years and are emblematic of the Council's approach to conservation, recreation, energy, and the environment. In every aspect of PEC's work, the partnerships and grassroots actions on the ground are critical to success. The work that we all do for the outdoors and the environment is more important than ever, as demonstrated in this unusual year. I'd like to join in celebrating the honorees for these prestigious awards. Their work is an inspiration to us all.
Hi, I'm David Woodwell, and on behalf of the board and staff of the Pennsylvania Environmental Council, I'm very pleased to be able to welcome you to the virtual 2020 Environmental Partnership Awards in the northeastern part of the state. For PEC, this is a long-standing tradition. 30 years of this event for us with all the partners, 50 years as an organization. 2020 for us was supposed to be a celebration of our anniversary. Mike alluded to it a moment ago. And we still think that we've done great things over that time. But in some ways, we really want to look forward. And doing awards programs around the state, we've got 3 of them going in this 2-week period right now, virtually, southeastern Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, and here. But by recognizing what Pennsylvanians are doing to conserve the environment, to protect the environment, to work on watershed issues, trail protection, environmental education, big issues, whether it's energy and climate or stormwater. Pennsylvanians have not let up. And some of the work of that you'll see tonight in these award winners. And we really encourage you to support them, to support what they do, to support what others are doing going forward. Because as Pennsylvania continues, these are still Penn's woods. And when we come out of this, there are still going to be rivers, lakes, wetlands to conserve, to preserve, stormwater issues to address, energy and climate questions about our carbon output, and education of new stewards coming on. And knowing that everybody watching this is in some way a steward of the environment, conservation, I want to thank you on behalf of PEC for doing that. And over our 50 years, we've had the privilege of being involved with a wide range of issues, everything from brownfield redevelopment to carbon pricing, trail development, illegal dump cleanups, reforestation of legacy mine lands, a whole raft of issues that continue and they only get addressed by Pennsylvanians working together to find sensible and sustainable solutions to those issues. Part of the reason we do all these awards dinners is to highlight that and to encourage people to go out and do even more. I've had the pleasure of meeting all of tonight's honorees and wish them all the best. I thank them for everything they've done, and we look forward to continuing to work with them and with you as Pennsylvania gets through 2020 and enters 2021.
$17 million acres of forest, 86,000 miles of rivers and streams, over 2,000 native plant species, more than 500 native wildlife species, 12.8 million people, over 200 years of industrial activity. And for the past 50, the Pennsylvania Environmental Council has been there. Through boom and bust, from country to city, across all walks of life. Our story is Pennsylvania's story.
Here in Pennsylvania, the mandate and our duty to protect the environment is actually enshrined in our Constitution. Every Pennsylvanian has a right to clean air, pure water, and the preservation of our natural resources.
At the dawn of the environmental movement, PEC's founders fought for laws to protect our state's air, water, and ecosystems from the impacts of development. We've never stopped advocating for responsible, effective environmental policy in Harrisburg and beyond. But as we've grown, we've taken on other roles. Over the years, we've worked to repair the damage from centuries of heavy industry and resource extraction.
When you look at how many streams have come back and to see wild fish coming into areas that they weren't able to before and habitat being reconnected, that's great.
We've helped communities transition to a new economy and a new relationship to the land.
Bed and breakfast, restaurants, bike shops. There's a trail economy now that's replacing the train and steel and coal economy that used to be in these small towns.
We've worked with towns and cities to help manage the built environment and to protect clean drinking water.
You cannot solve water problems without taking an approach that matches the scale of the problem. Rivers don't know political boundaries, and they don't care about political boundaries.
We've championed efforts to improve connectivity, public health, and quality of life in our neighborhoods. We've seen Pennsylvania become one of the nation's biggest energy producers, and we've used our voice to ensure that economic growth doesn't come at the expense of environmental integrity. As we consider our state's evolving role in the global community and confront the challenges of a warming planet, PEC remains committed to the values and the approach we began with. Study the problems carefully, understand the science, bring everyone to the table, and find solutions that work.
It's one thing to have a bunch of enviros in a room talking to each other about what the world needs to do. It's a whole nother when you have fossil fuel companies, when you have nuclear generators, when you have wind farm developers, representatives from the DOE and the DEP, and legislators all in a room discussing this together.
Pennsylvania's story is still being written, and so is ours. Whatever the future may bring, the Pennsylvania Environmental Council will be there to protect and restore the natural and built environments through innovation, collaboration, education, and advocacy.
If we can put ourselves forward 50 years or 100 years, what do we want our legacy to be?
Wow, color me impressed. I just have to thank the governor and the secretaries for their well wishes for PEC's 50th anniversary. I hope you all enjoyed the 50th anniversary video as much as I did. And as you can see from the video, PEC's story is Pennsylvania's story. So I know some of you might be thinking, but what about that awesome dinner raffle? Well, you don't have to fret because this year we're having an online silent auction. And lucky for you, there's still time to bid on some fabulous items. So the auction is open until 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Please don't miss this opportunity to get a great deal on outdoor adventures, one-of-a-kind experiences, or products to pamper and treat yourself, all donated by organizations, businesses, and individuals who support PEC's work and care about the environment. Please bid generously because it benefits PEC. It's easy. Just go to biddingforgood.com/PECPA. You just have to register and then, of course, bid early and often. The link should be at the bottom of the screen, and I think it is okay. I also want to thank our sponsors, who even in this time of uncertainty continued their support and investment in PEC. Without them, our work would not be possible. Our sincere thanks to our dinner benefactors, PPL Corporation and Procter & Gamble Paper Products Company, our dinner patrons, Can Do Incorporated and Miracle Commercial Real Estate Services, and our dinner sponsors, Barry Isett and Associates, Earth Conservancy, Lackawanna College Environmental Education Center, Lindy Corporation, and the Pennsylvania American Water. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. On behalf of the Northeastern Pennsylvania Environmental Partners, it's my pleasure to kick off the awards presentations. The Environmental Partnership Awards were established 30 years ago by a group of individuals who recognized all the amazing environmental work being done in the region. They also realized that this work was happening without acknowledgement. These original partners created the Environmental Partnership Awards program to recognize this work. And over the last 30 years, we have honored over 200 individuals and organizations. These awards are presented for achieving excellence in environmental protection or conservation in Northeastern Pennsylvania. The award recipients must have demonstrated the quality of involving and working successfully with others in pursuit of their accomplishments. Through the years, most of the original partners have continued to provide support for this awards dinner to recognize the collaborative efforts of many of you who work tirelessly to improve the environment. Since 1991, the awards program has grown, and tonight we're adding 5 environmental partnership awardees to this elite group. So now I want to welcome our partner, Meg Welker from PPL Corporation, to introduce each of our awardees this evening.
Good evening, everybody. Our first Environmental Partnership Award recipient is Sharon Yannick Craig. Sharon is an outstanding role model for environmental stewardship and partnerships and serves as an instrumental educator in Northeastern Pennsylvania. As the director of the Lackawanna College Environmental Education Center, Sharon leads by example, setting clear expectations and standards for her peers and students. She has dedicated her life to teaching and developing programs that foster an early love for nature and the natural world. Congrats, Sharon. We are so proud of you and proud to know you.
Our goal really is environmental education and stewardship of the land. And we think it's very important to connect people to the environment. We moved in here in about 2014. It is a LEED certified building. And so all of the aspects of the building were taken into consideration. So site planning and design, construction, the maintenance of the building and the usage of it inside. We have a lot of alternative energies. You can see the wind turbine. We have a solar photovoltaic array, and we have a geothermal heating and cooling system. We have a marsh machine wastewater treatment plant that takes our used water from the toilets, the flush water and the sink water, brings it out into a greenhouse out back that cleans it enough to be able to come back in to the building as gray water and to be used as flush water, so we don't have to keep using fresh well water. We do programs from preschool right up to senior citizens. A lot of the popular programs that we do are school field trips. We do summer camps, winter camps, an early explorers series that runs in the fall and the spring, a multi-level beekeeping certificate program, a sustainable leadership certificate degree program, and one of my favorites and most popular programs as of lately is the Conservation and Natural Resource Certificate program. We have this 211-acre living laboratory. We have 5 trails that PEC has helped sponsor through grants to develop some of them. We have a mixed hardwood forest, a stream that runs through. We have fields and open meadows and a wetland area too. So all of our students that come here get to explore and do hands-on programming. I'm really honored to receive this award, but while I am the voice here today and I'm the one receiving it, this award really goes to Lackawanna College former and current administration, and it goes to our educators at the center that really help to bring our programs alive. And I'd like to dedicate this to my husband, late husband Brian, who has always been supportive of the work that I do, and also to my little guy Gray, who is the reason I think that we all do this work for future generations.
Well, let's visit Sharon at her parents' home and show her some partnership love.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi. Hi.
Well, it looks like we've got 3 generations in your mom and dad's living room, right?
Yep.
How great is that? Did you learn your love of the environment from them?
Yeah. I actually did. Yes, my mother kicked me out of the house at 7 a.m. and didn't let me back in until
the street lights
midnight.
came on.
That's right. Or until you were hungry, right?
Right. The street lights was the general rule of thumb.
Street lights. Terrific. And so tell me, you've got a love of the environment, and I think you may have instilled that a little bit in Gray. What's your greatest hope for Gray's generation?
Hi, Mommy. I think that it's there. I think that it's within them. I think that they care deeply. My goal has always been to reach them at a very young age to make sure that they have that love of nature and that connect with it, and that when they do get older, sorry for all the distractions, when they do get older, that they will have a reason to protect it.
Absolutely. And Gray, I have a question for you. Do you have a favorite program with your mom that you've attended at the Environmental Center?
Yeah.
What was it?
Camp.
What was it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The snow camp.
Winter camp.
Oh, snow camp. That sounds so awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Did you want to say anything else?
No, I thank you guys all so much for all the fantastic work that you guys do. And congratulations on the 50-year anniversary and for all of your hard work putting this virtual event together.
Well, we really appreciate you letting us into your living room tonight. So thank you all. We're going to head back to the awards ceremony, so stay with us.
We will. Thanks, Meg.
See you guys. Oh, that was so awesome. So I'm going to move to our next Environmental Partnership Award. That one goes to the Grand Central Landfill. The conservation efforts at the Grand Central Landfill are coupled with the exceptional commitment to environmental conservation and stewardship. Grand Central Landfill has created 200 acres of grassland habitat, numerous walking trails, and an environmental education center. Do we see a theme here? Approximately 24 programs are held each year for the community on conservation, renewable energy, recycling, wildlife management, and much more. Congratulations on your company's commitment to environmental stewardship.
Grand Central Landfill is actually part of 80 other landfills and hauling companies across the entire country that Waste Management owns, and we are working towards conservation and sustainability goals. We actually met that goal in 2010 with over 100 facilities certified by the Wildlife Habitat Council and preserving over 20,000 acres. And so Grand Central is just a small nugget of that accomplishment for our company. We continue to work with the Wildlife Habitat Council and advance more conservation efforts with other partners. Behind us is a warm season grassland habitat. Back in 2006, we were approached by our friend Rick Trout, who's with Jacobsburg State Park, and he informed us that a lot of the populations for different bird species, ground nesting bird species, were losing their habitat due to the development in the county. So we actually owned a property, it was about 24 acres, and we decided to plant warm season grasslands. And since then, the populations of the bobolinks, eastern meadowlarks, and others are coming back. Behind us as well as we have 8 boxes that have different topics in them. Girl Scouts from a couple years ago built them for our guests that visit regularly here at the Education Center. And each box has different topics such as pollinators, bats, poison ivy, and it's really just a mishmash of educational resources, activities, things that kids can do while they're up here on the property. So some of the other projects we also do here at the Grand Central Landfill is renewable energy projects. It's actually one of a kind in the entire country, as the Green Knight Energy Center is owned by the Green Knight Economic Development Corporation. They're a nonprofit organization, and the landfill gas that we collect here at the facility is actually sent to that energy center, and then it goes out to the local grid, powering about 5,000 homes. The money that the Green Knight Economic Development Corporation makes from the sale of the electricity goes back into the community by way of grants. We are working with our bird bander right behind me, Paul Karner. We band kestrels here, as well as bluebirds and tree swallows. And then also behind me, we have Bill Grant. He is helping us with our butterfly populations. And then the rest of my team behind me is also a part of our programming, as well as maintenance of our habitat. They're the ones that are making this habitat what it is today.
Wow, they've got a lot going on there. How about we join Adrienne and her partners at the Grand Central Landfill and share our congratulations. Let's go to their watch party.
Hi!
Hi, everybody. Hey, congratulations. There's some good work going on out there.
Thank you. Well, it wouldn't be possible without everybody here and many of our partners that couldn't join us here tonight at our watch party.
That's terrific. So do you have the most interesting butterfly that you've seen in the meadows? Have you seen some cool stuff flying through?
We see a lot of those, and I would say, Kevin, what have you seen lately as our wildlife biologist?
Or birds, anything really cool that's kind of passing through?
Just the other day, I saw an immature golden eagle on site.
That is awesome. We're lucky to be able to see that where we live, aren't we?
Yes,
Cool.
and in the what was this fall, we actually saw a gyrfalcon, so that was a pretty cool sighting.
The gyrfalcon, that is excellent. Wow, congratulations for your good work there. So trash to energy, that is really good stuff. How does that work?
So I'm going to take my mask off for this. So the landfill has a whole network of pipes, and basically from the decomposition of waste, we extract that landfill gas, which is mainly methane. We pull it into the Green Knight Energy Center, which is a nonprofit organization. They use it to make power, and they put the proceeds from their revenues and profits into the community for different projects.
That's great. Wonderful use of resources, and you're doing a great job out there. Okay, last question. Did anybody get a chance to bid on any of the awesome auction items yet?
Not yet, but we plan to.
I'm sure my wife's standing by at home. I think she's standing with my wife and two girls. They're waiting to bid.
There may be some bidding wars going on out there, so you've got until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so get your bids in.
Will do.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you, and thank you. Congrats for your good work.
Thank you.
Great,
Congrats
thank
to all
you.
the awardees too.
Terrific. I'm going to go on to our next partnership award. That goes to the Lands at Hillside Farms. The Lands is a 412-acre nonprofit educational agricultural farm that operates as a community-owned teaching farm. The Lands made a conscious decision to utilize the farm as a vehicle to educate the local and regional community through both projects and environmental education activities. At the Lands, students work side by side with formally trained educators and co-faculty farm animals to learn about sustainable lifestyle, which includes courses in science, agriculture, ecology, animal husbandry, nutrition, land conservation, and community service. Congratulations. What a great, amazing regional resource.
The story of the land is, you can imagine, and it's nobody's fault, there was traditional farming here, and it's a very slopey place that goes down to a stream. It's a valley that comes down to a stream. So you can imagine mass erosion. And you can imagine no plants, a lot of tilling. So we're no-till now. We rotationally graze. We don't use herbicides. We don't use pesticides on the land at all. And we are really pumping up our riparian buffer zones. And our dream, and not the very long term, but maybe over the next 5 years, if it's possible, is to find a way to create a carbon neutral dairy operation. Dairy is the backbone, but we're not about ice cream. We're not about dairy, we're about education. And we use the word sustainability, but maybe in a different way that many people do. So sustainable to us is not just recycling, and it's not just the environment, it's even the way we treat each other. It's kindness that really matters. You know, if you look how divided we are right now as a nation, maybe we can come together on things like stewardship, whatever side of the aisle you're on, and we believe deeply in the stewardship of the land and people having access to that land. We have many different educational programs. One of our biggest and most popular ones is our grief camps, where kids that are in terrible situations come here and there's counseling. When you couple that with the outdoors, it's a whole nother game of getting kids to open up. But then beyond that, we might work with colleges and talk about alternative engineering. We have passive education as well. So in the products we choose to sell in our store, the way we choose to farm, all those things come together in sustainability for us. I didn't grow up dairy. So when you grow up on a dairy farm, you probably become acclimated, right? And I've never gotten to the point where I look at them like equipment. I love these things like they're just beautiful, gentle animals. And they're everything. They take care of the fields for us. And if you could just keep them happy and farm grass, that's the key. So we're grass farmers. The cows do the dairy. We're very grateful for receiving the Northeast Environmental Partnership Award. Partnership's the key word in that. We look at Hillside as a community place, and it's a place in the middle of a bunch of development where we can halt all that and maybe keep our water clean. And we can't do all of that or any of it without the various agencies and organizations that help us do it. So we're deeply grateful.
Did you see that rainbow at the end of that video? I would say they are definitely the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Let's go visit with Chet from the lands at Hillside Farms.
Maybe keep our water clean. We can't do all of that.
Hey, Chet.
Without the various agencies and organizations that help us do it. So we're deeply grateful.
There might be a little lag time there. Hey, Chet, how are you doing?
Rainbow at the end of that video. I would say they are definitely the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Let's go visit with Chet from the lands at Hillside Farm.
How are you guys? Can you hear me, Chet? Maybe close your Facebook. Does that help? You know, we're all new at this. So.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay, excellent.
I'm sorry about that. Hi, this is my wife, Noelle.
Hi,
Sorry,
Noelle. That's okay. Hey, you know, we're all new at this Zoom stuff and live streaming, so no worries.
Okay, that's what it is.
So you're telling me that that it's not about the ice cream, but I'd say it's a cherry on top of all your accomplishments.
How are you guys?
Great.
I'm still seeing a little delay here.
Now we can.
I can. Could you hear me?
Maybe close your Facebook. Does that help?
I see you.
Okay. Is your
But I
Facebook
can't hear you.
closed? Oh, no. All right. Well, hey, we'll have to catch up with you another time. But what I'm gonna,
We did it. We got it.
We got it.
So we're terrible. I'm sorry. We're terrible. I'm very sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. I think we're back in business now. So I have to ask, do you have a favorite cow?
Yes, I do.
It's okay. I will not tell the other ones.
She was in the picture, but I definitely a favorite cow. She's just a beautiful animal, and she's a brown Swiss, and she reminds me of a dog, a late dog that we had, a Weimaraner. She's like, sort of looks like a Weimaraner, but she's a cow.
Oh, wow. That's great. And you said you're a grass farmer. Do the cows have a preference of grass?
Of course they do. I mean, most of our grass is cold weather. So, you know, orchard grass, especially, that's what most of our farm is. But we also do things like let milkweed grow up through it without mowing it for the butterflies. And we try to be symbiotic with everything that's going on around us.
And final question for you. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Pumpkin, hands down.
Okay, well, that is timely. Hey, congratulations. Thank you so much for all of your good work at the lands. We're so lucky to live near you and to have all the opportunities to visit. Congratulations.
Thank you. Sorry about the audio.
No worries. We'll see you later. Okay. As we said, technical difficulties, we're getting there. Our next partnership goes to the Mincy Lake Cooperative Habitat Improvement Project. That's a collaborative effort of the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, Northampton County Parks, and Friends of Mincy Lake. The project included the construction and installation of 640 large-scale habitat structures and 210 small-scale habitat structures at Mincy Lake. Through this project, these partners transformed a relatively habitat-barren lake basin into an improved sport fishery, improving angling success and recreational enjoyment for the thousands of children, adults, and families who fish and boat at Mincy Lake each year. Congratulations. Let's check out their video.
Mincy Lake was constructed in 1970 as a public boating and fishing lake. It's situated in the east fork of Martins Creek, here in the northern end of Northampton County, up in the northeastern corner of the county.
There's 4 small tributaries that feed this 117-acre lake. There are beautiful wetlands and vernal pools behind us, which are very important for the environment.
The backdrop, of course, you got the Blue Mountain right behind us and the Appalachian National Scenic Trail Corridor. We butt right up against the Delaware Water Gap National Rec Area.
Friends of Mincy Lake is a partnership. It's a committee of the Northampton County Junior Conservation School. We were formed in 2017, partnering with Northampton County and the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. The object of the committee was to raise funds for in-lake habitat for fish, turtles, and other critters. Over the past 4 years, we've raised a little over $154,000, and we have spent up to this point $80,000 just on material for fish habitat. If you look behind me, you'll see some post clusters sticking up out of the water. We have other structures completely in the water. So at this particular point, the fish habitat, with the lake being refilled, is being inhabited by trout and small bass and sunfish, which were recently stocked by the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. Northampton County has only 2 public lakes. This is one of them. This is one of the few places where residents can come out, walk along the lake, walk across the dam breast down to the spillway. Next year, we're putting a pedestrian bridge 128 feet long going over that spillway. They will then be able to do a complete loop around the lake.
I live 3 miles from here. I feel so lucky. This lake I visit almost every day. Even before the water was in the lake, we had tons of traffic up here. People were flying kites, walking through the lake. They love it so much. And then now that it's full, you cannot believe the amount of traffic that people just walking up and down. All age groups, handicapped people, people on bicycles. It's just wonderful.
How cool. Some great opportunities at Mincy Lake. Let's join Jim Wilson and our friends from Mincy Lake.
We're back.
Hey. Oh my gosh, John Mauser, I haven't seen you in forever. I was delighted to see you in the video. I believe I saw porcupine structures, right?
Yes, you did. The porcupine cribs are in place. 100 were put in this summer. Next summer, we're putting in another 100 porcupine cribs.
That's awesome. And that gives the panfish, the smaller panfish, a place to hide. Is that right?
That is correct.
Cool. That's an awesome.
Larger fish.
That's great, John. And so does anybody have a most unique critter that you've seen around the lake, sort of lurking around? Anything that worth noting?
Jim is going to talk about that.
Okay.
unique critter looking around the lake that I've seen.
I agree.
Now we have all sorts of great wildlife up there. I guess the most unique thing this year that I'm aware of was there was a pair of grebes, common grebes that nested at the lake. It's a waterfowl, a bird. And I don't know that we've recorded those there in the past. So that was kind of unique. That was very unique that we had a pair of grebes nested at the lake. And we also had a pair of osprey just maybe a half a mile north of the lake that nested in a platform that we installed, Friends of Mincy Lake, Northampton County Parks and Rec, and Med-Ed in March of 2019 that was occupied by an osprey family this year. It's within eyesight of the lake as the osprey flies. So it was good stuff.
They are so great to see. And you know what I've realized? Sometimes they're better anglers than me. Right? The ospreys are usually pretty successful. So great job.
Trout.
We've heard a bit about, looking forward to 2021, all the craziness of 2020. What are you all looking forward to in 2021?
Well, with the pedestrian bridge in place, we'll be able to have all our hikers and walkers do a complete loop around the lake. It'll be about a 2.5 mile walk, and the 128-foot bridge is going to be made out of aluminum, a single span. You would just love to see that. And there's one other point. They put radio transmitters on red-bellied turtles when they drain the lake. They put them in another pond. They're going to be putting those red-bellied turtles back in the lake. They're going to use a transmitter and a receiver to find the red-bellied turtles and reintroduce them to the lake. I thought that was neat.
That is really neat. I am thinking we need to set a date for 2021, and I need to come for a hike up at Mincy Lake with you guys.
Yeah. We will do that.
Terrific. Hey, congratulations again. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you,
See
Meg.
ya. Okay, good stuff going on all over northeastern Pennsylvania. So our final partnership award this evening goes to the North Branch Trout Derby Association. The mission of the association is to promote and encourage outdoor recreation for children and young adults to broaden their horizons and create future stewards of the environment. One way they do this is through their annual Trout Derby. Following the success of their first derby, they made several improvements, including doubling the size of their pond, creating handicap accessibility, and building a pavilion. The association partners with many other groups to further their goal of introducing families to the outdoors for the wonderful hunting and fishing opportunities in our region. Congratulations, North Branchers.
North Branch Trout Association is approximately 12 to 15 years old. It was started with a bunch of concerned environmentalists. We all had a common bond in mind that we wanted to provide fishing and hunting opportunities for our children and our grandchildren and children of the community. And it started out with a small project along a stream, which has developed over the last 12 years to 2020 here into one of the premier fishing events for northeastern Pennsylvania. Our main audience on this obviously is to give fishing opportunities to the children of our community, families and friends, to give them the first chance to go out, to help moms and dads that might not have had fishing experience and be able to offer that to children. We've expanded into special needs children with a special day. We also do disabled veterans and give them fishing opportunities at our facility in Levelton, Pennsylvania. We've taken ownership of several areas of the streams up and that way to keep the environment clean. I said we live along some turbulent streams up there where our grandchildren could play in the streams during the summer months or low water times now. And we've had high water events that actually has destroyed our first run at doing a project in the streams up there that we did with the PA Fish Commission. So on that note, we're continually trying to work on our fishing habitat and provide better fishing and hunting for the people in the area. All of our events does come from support from the community. We started out with basically out of pocket and just hoping and praying that we'd have enough money to buy fish and stock fish for the children. As we began to become more credible in the community and our name began to spread, corporate sponsors, businesses started stepping up to the plate. So we were very fortunate. The community, it is a community deal there, and we definitely thank everybody that's helped us from the start. Our future plans are is that we want to continue to offer the opportunities to the youth of the area and the region. As we begin to expand, so we may be looking for a larger facility to be able to hold more events for youth. That would probably be our ultimate goals. Fishing continues to improve in Pennsylvania through private efforts and through group efforts of the community. I'm just happy to be here today, and again, I'm very happy to receive the award, and we're honored as a group.
Help us congratulate President Bruce Pitts and his partners from the Derby Association. Let's go to their watch party.
Hey!
Hey, there they are. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Congratulations. Can you tell me a fish story? What's the biggest fish you pulled out of the lake?
Well, the biggest fish we pulled out of the lake was probably about a 60-inch native trout.
Okay, is that a fish story or is that real? I know you anglers, you've got fish stories. So another question for you. Are you
Very fortunate. Some of our membership is here tonight, and I'm extremely proud to be a part of their lives. And if it wasn't for everybody here tonight and the folks that couldn't attend the Trout Derby, it wouldn't be what it is today. So some of our members came out here during this Chinese virus thing here, and we're having a good time here in Trucksville, Pennsylvania.
Very good. And I see that, you know, we've talked a little bit about multi-generational activities and creating a love for the environment tonight. Are you seeing that, you know, with participation in the Derby, sort of a few generations coming out?
Yes, we are. So we see 3 to 4 generations from, in many cases, from when their children were little and they've got kids and grandkids and their grandparents come, and it is a family-oriented event that it's traditional American values that everybody standing with me here right now believe in, and that's why we're so successful and give the opportunity to the youth of our community.
Great. And one last question. Do you know of any youth that are going the extra mile with environmental partnering? Have you seen any of them coming out fishing?
Yes, we have. I said we're very fortunate that there's some children and grandchildren there that are taking a part in our events, and some other events through whether it's scouting and Girl Scouts that fortunately we have a lot of conservationists, environmentalists following in our footsteps.
That's terrific. They're our future for sure. So you should think about them and maybe nominate some of those youth for our Emerging Leader Award. So think about that. I know Janet will tell you a little more about that later. Thanks again, and congratulations to you all. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
And now, for the culmination of our evening celebration, let's go back to Janet Sweeney for the presentation of this year's Thomas P. Shelburne Environmental Leadership Award.
Wow, I absolutely love those videos. I have to say, David and I had so much fun when we went out and got to visit all these extraordinary awardees. We had the best weather. David has the most amazing phone that he shot the video footage on. It was really fun. We got to meet these wonderful folks and see their projects firsthand and realize the impact that they're having on our land and water through their tireless efforts. So, in 1995, the partners established the Thomas P. Shelburne Environmental Leadership Award to honor individuals who have devoted a large part of their life to environmental protection and proven to be an inspirational leader. When we went to interview our 2020 Shelburne honoree, we were fortunate to also have our 2019 Shelburne recipient, Lynn Conrad, spend the afternoon with us. And as is our tradition, the previous Shelburne winner gets to introduce the newest honoree. And lucky for us, we were able to meet with them both. As well, these two women have a very special connection.
Nancy has been an inspiration to me and also to our trail people in the area. It'll be 30 years that Nancy started the Rail Trail Council. I wasn't involved at the time, but she has a way of getting people involved.
How it started was a friend of her friend told me about a new national organization called Rails to Trails. I joined, and there was a questionnaire that came out. And the last question was, if there's anything in your area, would you be interested in working on it? And I checked yes, never thinking I'd hear from anybody. But the National Park Service called and said they were doing a rail trail study around Scranton.
She was the one who stepped forward, and when they were looking for someone to help with a feasibility study, to look at all these abandoned rail beds in Northeast PA, Nancy was there.
I packed the meeting with lots of people who I knew would be involved from up here. Started to go to every meeting I could possibly find and talk about getting the trail. We did a lot of work on the trail at that point, measuring and all sorts of things. We then incorporated and began to have regular board meetings every month. I went to a PEC meeting at one point, and I heard that if you partnered with people, that you were more likely to get a grant. So we partnered with the Art Exchange in Uniondale and asked Lynn to be the chairman. So she was our first employee.
Nancy has done a lot of other things as well. Even before she started Rail Trail, she was very interested in the environment and was involved in the start up of an organization that was protecting the environment here called Rescue, and kept a big dump site out of this area.
This picture that I was awarded is Cable's store in Uniondale, Pennsylvania, and the trail is right next door. Good friends of mine inherited it from their father, who was the storekeeper. The store had been closed for a long time, and it was in not the greatest condition. We have totally redone the store. Our offices are where Lynn's pointing. I'm so proud to accept the award and the painting. It's been a long time coming for me working on the rail trail.
She got the idea, she started the organization, and now we have a beautiful trail that we are still working on, but we have 20 miles of improved trail that has been getting tremendous use, especially this past year. So I'm so grateful to Nancy for getting me involved in Rail Trail, and she is so deserving of this award. Perfect timing.
So Lynn is absolutely correct. Nancy is so deserving of this honor. So why don't we go to Nancy's watch party? Hi! Hi, ladies. Oh, Nancy, I've been so lucky to work with you over the years and see firsthand your passion and commitment to the trail. So how are you feeling this evening?
I feel so honored to receive the Thomas B. Shelby Award and to be part of the individuals who received this award before me. There were many. Deb McNamara is here, and Lynn Conrad, who received this award last year, and I are in my house for a virtual dinner instead of the usual Woodlands, where I served on the PAC dinner committee for several years.
Right.
That's awesome. Now, I know, Nancy, you had a special pin when we went to meet with you that day, and I see you're wearing it again, and I know there's a story. Do you want to tell everyone the story of your pin?
Yeah, I do have a special pin, and we can't get it up close for you to see. But when we got the D&H trail, I thought to myself, I think I have a police badge somewhere around here. And lo and behold, I found it in a drawer, way in the back of a drawer. And it is the D&H, which is our trail depot police badge. And they used to have cops in large stations because they didn't want people to steal stuff. So anyway, I bought it as a joke. I thought that I was buying it for my son Elliot, who is here in the room with us, who is 66, when he was 5 years old, to be a cop for Halloween. He was never a cop, but what luck to have bought that pin, because I wear it at everything that has to do with rail trail. It's a very special pin.
Yes, it is. So I've heard some stories about your persuasive powers, Nancy, and I know the trail's been so successful and supported by so many in the community. How did you go about drumming up all this support?
Well, luckily I knew a lot about mailing lists, and so we had a big mailing list to get people interested. But, you know, a project like this at that particular time was not particularly popular. A lot of people thought it wouldn't work. You know, they thought they'd be robbed on the trail. And so it took a lot of work to convince people that the trail was going to be good. And as I said, I went to every meeting I could possibly go to, and borough councils, town councils, anything that I could go to, I went and talked about the rail trail. I had a little video from the Rails to Trails, actually, that I used. And I also, for 11 years, had a brunch at my house here that we had about 150 to 200 people every year. We had it during the Elk Mountain Oktoberfest, so there was a big crowd there, and that really helped to popularize it, because I pin people down, you know, be a member. You can't get past me without either contributing or being a member.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it always, you know, we all know the power of food, you know, so that was very smart of you to go down that path. So Nancy, is there anyone else special that you want to thank tonight?
Well, I would love to thank both Lynn and Deb. And I think that it's a wonderful thing. When I first started, there were not very many trails. Actually, and it's so good to see the blossoming of trails all across the country. Because when I first started, there were very few. And so I had to learn my way around. And, you know, I think it's great. We have a wonderful trail now. We have many activities on the trail. We have did you see the picture behind me? There was a picture that I got for winning this award, and it's of the Rail Trail office building. There's a really neat deli in there too. And so I encourage all of you to come walk, bike, snowshoe. We do a lot of cross-country skiing on the trail, and it's 38 miles long. As Lynn said, it's how many
20
miles?
20 improved.
20 improved. And we're working on the rest of it. And it is interconnecting to other trails, which is also really good. So I think that's what I have to say.
Well, that's awesome. And I have been on that trail. It is amazing. And thank you so much for your vision and foresight and getting that trail in this area. It is definitely a gem. Thank you so much, Nancy, for being here tonight. It was so wonderful to see you, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, I love her. Isn't she terrific? It's so wonderful to honor her and all the partnership awardees tonight in this way. I know we're running a little over, but I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Thank you again for attending this program to support our amazing awardees and their work. Thank you to all of our sponsors, the partners at our dinner committee. Thank you to our president, Davitt Woodwell, for his vision and guidance. Thanks to our board, of course, who are always so supportive of our work. And I have to give a shout out to my fellow PEC colleagues across the state, but especially Angela Vikoski. She is quite literally the best, and she is quite literally going to kill me for saying this, but I had to say it. So thank you, Angie. We hope this evening has inspired you. Please keep in mind awardees for next year, especially in the emerging leader category, like Meg said. We know that there's a ton of young people out there that are doing amazing things for the environment. And now the nominations are open year round. They can be found on the PEC website. Just go to pecpa.org/NEPA dinner nominations. You can start nominating people now while this is all in your head and you're excited about these awardees. Don't forget about the auction. It closes tomorrow at 11 a.m. And believe me, there is something for everyone. So don't let these great items slip through your fingers. I do believe the link is in the comments below in case you forgot it. Thank you all for supporting PEC's work in our first 50 years. We look forward to continuing to share this journey with you in the years to come. And just so you know, this event, along with PEC's Southeastern and Western Pennsylvania dinners, were recorded, and they'll be featured on PEC's website for you all to view. I encourage you to check them out and see the wonderful work and partnerships happening across the Commonwealth. So thanks again. Please stay safe and healthy and enjoy the rest of your evening. Cheers.